Dear fellow shooters, today we're going to try and test out the Xero C1 Pro with a bow, and I've seen numerous places all over YouTube that it will pick up an arrow all right. So what we're going to test out today is what's the tolerance in terms of positioning the Xero relative to the shooter or to the arrow. So we're going to test it on the side and beneath the under the bow and see what kind of tolerance we find. Okay, so in this first shot we're just gonna do it by the book. So we have the chronograph positioned, I don't know, maybe 20 centimeters below the arrow, and we're gonna take a shot and see what the measurement is. .2 meters per second. So we're going to use that as a reference. Okay, so here we're shooting on the side of the bow, 50 centimeters, half a meter, and the reference was 87.2 meters per second, I believe it was. So let's see how that works. .4, half a meter seems to be no problem. Okay, so now we moved it out to 100 centimeters or a meter, which I found with the rifle test to be about where it starts losing the shot, or maybe register it or detect it, but not save it to memory and count it. But let's see what happens here. This is 1 meter. It detected the shot, it registered the shot, 88.1. Okay, so here we are right around 120 centimeters, so 1.2 meter. And let's see what happens if it counts the shot and registers it. Detected the shot, and it did not count it. So this is very similar to what we've seen with the rifle. It seems like the chronograph absolutely kind of sees the shot, but above 1 meter, it does not register, and it is not counted as a shot. So it seems like we have found similar results to what we see with the rifle. It sort of stops registering further out than 1 meter. So let's try to see what happens if we go below the bow and see if that's also 1 meter. That's the limit. Okay, so here we are at 95 centimeters, the arrow 95 centimeters above the chronograph. And let's see if it picks up the shot. Yes. Yes, it counted it. So it seems like we have the same tolerance, which is maybe not too surprising. Basically 1 meter below is going to work fine, and 1 meter to the side. So there's really no difference between the position tolerance with an arrow compared to a rifle. So 1 meter seems to be the practical limit for positioning the chronograph, which is like what you see here. So you don't need a very large tripod or anything. If you can just put the chronograph on something that lifts it a little bit above the ground, you should be fine. Of course, depending on your own height. So, but that's it. Okay, so another little test here. We're trying to move the chronograph a little bit back from the shooter, like 1 meter, and let's see if it picks up the shot. It does, 97.6, which is consistent with, so this is a heavier arrow, 33 grams, so that's why we have a smaller velocity, but it's consistent with what we've seen before. So if that is more practical, you can actually move the chronograph a little bit back from the shooter, if that makes sense.